Well, in addition to our writing, actually, in the early 70s, the late 60s and early 70s, Casey and I were trying to connect with the rest of the grassroots. We knew we were grassroots, but we didn't know where the others were. We couldn't find them around East Haddam, although there were a lot of good, strong women in East Haddam. They weren't organized as women. I mean, as for women's goals, they were doing other things. So we tried to find a NOW chapter, and we didn't know in 1970 there were NOW chapters actually starting up in both Hartford and Greenwich, and we didn't know about that. We finally got a hold of there was an office in Chicago, and we telephoned there, and we got an answering machine. But eventually, someone called back and put us in touch with some women in New Haven who were they were actually active in NOW. They were starting NOW, but they were not the only group in New Haven. There was a thing called Women's Liberation in New Haven, a group that was doing all sorts of things. They were outside the mainstream. They were in the arts and in theater and they were political. They were doing marches and demonstrations, and we never did connect with them, but we did connect with NOW chapters first in Middletown, and then in southeast Connecticut, in New London area, and we got involved in the ERA campaign here, both the ratification of the federal amendment campaign and the effort to have a state amendment passed. Well, I've always been very political. Well, not always, but from the time I was a young adult, and I'm currently very involved in the effort to make Connecticut the first state to legislate the right to same-sex couples marriage. We have a bill in the legislature now on this topic, and I think we're pushing it hard. We may not get it through this session, but we will get it through in another session. There's an organization, Love Makes a Family, which I'm working with, and we've made a lot of progress. Only 2 years ago, many legislators would not even consider voting for civil union, as they have in Vermont. This year, a lot of them are saying, "Oh, we'll vote for civil union, of course, but we don't think that our constituents are ready for same-sex marriage." That they're wrong. I think the constituents are out ahead of them on this. I think most fair-minded people recognize that same-sex couples are just simply being, and their families especially, are being denied rights and responsibilities that married people have always taken for granted. There's no reason to single out any minority of people for a separate law like civil union, because separate is never equal. We know that.